Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. This is Forrest out in St. Louis. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend. The fireworks are still going off. I have a feeling that we're going to be hearing them for another several weeks. I think there was like buy one and get 56,000 additional fireworks for free or something, because they've pretty much been nonstop from when the sun goes down for the last 2 weeks. It's just been crazy, 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 crazy. I love Independence Day. I love the 4th of July. I'm absolutely unbelievably proud to be an American. I love this country. I love everything that it stands for. It may not be absolutely perfect, but it's the worst day in America is probably better than the best day in a lot of other countries. So I'll take that any day, any day, any day, any day, any day. So I'm going to go over a couple of things. One is I want to talk about one simple thing that I do. Has generated me over 80% of my sales last month. And if you're like me, it's like, how do I generate sales? How do I move through the close? Where do I get business? How can I get more business? How can I get more leads? Well, I'm going to tell you this one thing that I do on a regular basis is something that once you start doing it, it's going to greatly impact just your outlook. It's going to affect your daily method of operation. It's going to just affect what you do every day when you get, oh man, I've got to get this done. I've got to get this done. I've got to get this done. I've got to get this done, because it will really change your mindset on how you hustle, right? It'll change your mind on the process of the hustle. So very, very important that you do this on a daily basis. Hey, Nanuka, thanks for swinging by. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So got a lot of good things going on. Has anyone noticed that like mail lately seems to be on the super slow? Seems like it's taking the long way around the planet. I don't know what that is, but you order something and it seems like it says it's left wherever it's going, and I don't know, it seems like it takes forever to get. I don't know if they're putting it on donkeys and carrying it across the Sahara Desert or whatever, but it's pretty crazy that way. So for those of you that are catching this, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Forrest Knight. I'm a social media marketing strategist. I love helping people succeed online. I am a coach. I love helping entrepreneurs succeed online, and of course on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators. If you'd like to catch, I did a series here about a month ago now already, called the Prospecting Blitz Challenge. If you'd like to check that challenge out and engage, it's 7 days. It's absolutely a lot of fun. You can actually click this link right here, live.xtrmimpact.com. It's actually going to take you to my YouTube channel, and all those lives are right there. You can go in and check them out. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate that. So jumping on here, the one thing that I do to generate 80% of my sales. Now, it's very, very important before we even get into that you understand, and we talk about this all the time. I talk about this all the time. It's very important that let me back up to this. Is you need to know what you're doing in your day. And we call it a daily method of operation or a DMO. It's very important that you map that out. Now, does it have to go perfect every day? No, like today, Sundays is my me day, right? Today, Sundays are my me day. I slept into like 11 o'clock. What? It felt so freaking good. Like, it felt great to keep my butt in the bed. And it was so nice. Got up. Like, man, what time is it? It's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, yes. So sometimes you just need to get some rest. Sometimes you just need to have some me time. So very, very important in your daily method of operation, however you set that up. Because I know as 8 drivers, sometimes we just go and go and go and go and go, and we forget to eat lunch. I even have that on my schedule: eat lunch, eat dinner, eat lunch, eat dinner. And I know when I get hangry, I get a little bit crazy. I get pretty hungry that way. So very, very important that we eat, that we sleep, that we take care of ourselves. And for those of you that exercise. My exercise consists of me getting up, going downstairs, making a coffee, and coming back upstairs. For right now, I'm going to put it on my list. I've got an awesome bicycle. I need to get back on that and do that and put that on my list of things to do, especially with the weather being as nice as it is. The wife is actually talking about doing some stationary bike. So I'm going to jump right in this. I don't want to keep you guys long. I said you guys got to help me with that. You guys got to help me with it. All y'all guys got to help me with just talking to you. So you've got to help me with that. So let's talk about this. So we're in a daily method of operation. We've set up our day. It's not going to go exactly as planned because stuff happens, right? So hung out with the wife today. I had a really cool Q&A coaching session, Inner Circle coaching today. It was absolutely awesome. It was so much fun to get to be a coach in the Inner Circle. That was absolutely awesome. Hey, Coach, what's going on, Doc? Really appreciate it. Thanks for swinging by. So that is an absolute blessing to be able to do that in the Inner Circle. It's a group for people on a mission to hit 100K a year in their network marketing business, and of course beyond. And it's really cool to be able to track beyond that and head towards 7 figures. So if you're like me and you have a focus problem, right? You see something, man, I'm going to go do this, man, I'm going to do that. It's very, very important. My coach, Coach Elsa, helped me really focus and put my focus into a box. Now, one of the things that I have to learn is I can't do too many things at one time because it really bogs me down, and I don't get my primary focus done. My primary mission, this is my daily thing. My one thing that I have to do every day is reach out and knock on somebody's door, and I'll explain why. Because yesterday I got 2 leads from people, and people say, only 2 leads. Well, you understand this. One is they're cold market leads, right? These are people that I reached out to, that I sent a message back on June 14th and June 18th that replied and said, hey, I want more information about what's going on. So if I hadn't put those messages in their inbox, they wouldn't be reaching out to me today. So it's like planting those seeds. It's very, very important that's my primary number one objective. Plant a seed, 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 plant a seed. I probably got that music in your head for everybody. Oh, plant a seed. You'll wake up 2 o'clock in the morning. Plant a seed. Planting seeds are very, very important. When that harvest is going to start to show up, you have no idea. So it's very, very important that you're going out there and putting those messages in people's inbox, It doesn't matter how many you do it, 5 a day, 10 a day, 15 a day, 20 a day, or do like some of us do. And we do it for a week. You pick 7 days out and you just push and you pick a number. And this is what we call in the 7-day prospecting blitz challenge. If you go to this link right here underneath the streaming across here, the live.xtrmimpact.com, you can go see that 7-day prospecting blitz challenge. But we put in some big numbers and we had some fun. And the goal of the 7 days is you can do it any 7 days that you want. You can do it by yourself, but here's the guy. I would pick out 3 or 4 running mates to do it, so you guys can put a little post up and or do it in a messenger or whatever, so you have accountability partners. But you pick out your daily number that you're going to reach out to. And all it is a prospecting blitz challenge, right? You're going to reach out and you need to track it. So get yourself a Google Doc spreadsheet. So day 1, let's say you pick out 50 people. And then you add 20% each day. So 20% of 50, right? It's 10. So you're going to add 10 more people. Did I do that right? Yeah, 10% is 5. So yeah, 20% is 10. So the next day you'd reach out to 60. So you're putting 50, and then it's 60, then it's 20%, all the way through. By the end of the week, you're at, I think, 190 or something's the number if you're doing 50, somewhere in that range. So that's your numbers. And at the end of that week, which is really cool, you'll start to see, it comes out to about 690 or something if you start right around 50. But at the end of that week, you're going to have all of those messages. You got to think about it. It's like putting money in the bank. Right? You're not going to get interest, compound interest immediately. That's not going to happen for a while until, interest rates go up, the market trends, or whatever. I'm not a finance guy, but you got to come back, and that's going to start to reap your rewards, because then people are going to start to reach out and go, so what are you talking about? They may not reach out to you for a while. It might be 30 days or 15 days or 6 months or whatever, because remember, people aren't sitting in their inbox waiting for a message from me going, oh man, somebody's going to send me a message about a business opportunity. Ooh, I'm just waiting. They're not doing that, right? They're not doing that, right? So you're putting those messages in their inbox. You're doing that on a regular basis. So you're going to start getting the leads that are going to start coming in. They're going to start popping in, and they're going to come here and there. And you may get one from yesterday. You may get one right now when you're reaching out. You may get one that somebody reached out from you 2 weeks ago, like I did yesterday. They're going to start to pop in, and you add those on your spreadsheet or wherever you're tracking them in your journal, wherever you put them. You're going to start to track those, and you're going to put it in. So it's very, very important. You got to remember that people, and I always say this, if you send out a prospecting message and somebody replies and you send them a 7-minute sizzle video and they decide to sign up on that, you might want to revisit that and ask them directly. So have you been looking at this business for a while? Did somebody else show you the business? Very, very important. So what I like to do is I'll send them a sizzle video to see if they're interested, to get their peak. And then you go from there is move to the next event, which would be maybe a 30-minute Zoom presentation or 30-minute overview, so they can get more in depth than that. And then maybe moving them into a team call, or maybe getting one of your team leaders on a conference call and just talk to them and get some questions from them, get them on the phone and find out what they're looking to do, sort of where they want to go with this. Do they want to earn extra money? Do they want to pay off debt? Because you want to have a real good pulse of this new team member, right? You want to understand where they're coming from, right? So you're going to have a process. So the thing that's really helped me enroll a ton of extra people in the month of June from any other month is that, or had an 80% increase, is follow-up. That's the one thing that's follow-up. Follow-up, follow-up, follow-up. Grant Cardone, matter of fact, Ray Higgin had gone to some coaching from Grant Cardone, and Grant Cardone is a multi-million-dollar sales training team, and he has professional people that are reaching out and salespeople that are reaching out. They only have a 2% closing ratio on the first call. So these are professional sales dudes and dudettes, right? They're professional salespeople that on the first phone call, they've only got a 2% closing ratio. So what makes me think of being, I'm a pretty good sales guy, what makes me think that I'm going to get a sale on the first phone call? That'd have to be really, 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 really good. So they typically say in our industry, it takes 5 to 12 exposures, and those 5 to 12 exposures are going to be people watching you, right? You might send them a prospecting message along with a prospecting link. They might look at that, right? They're going to look at that, and then they might sit back and say, you know what, I'm going to watch what Forrest is doing. I want to see what he's doing. So they're going to peek in, they're going to jump in, they're going to take a look at my timeline, they're going to go scope out my Instagrams, they're going to go look at my YouTube channel, they're going to look at Facebook, because they want to see, right? They want to know me. They want to begin to trust me. And hopefully, after seeing what I'm doing, is they'll begin to like me. Because there's some gurus out there that say it's important to build rapport. Well, I challenge you this. If you're doing Facebook Lives on a regular basis, and I had a real good friend, Donnie, he was one of my mentors and a sponsor that I had when I was early in Alcoholics Anonymous recovery. He used to say this, and hopefully this doesn't offend anybody. If it does, I don't care. You can't save your face and your ass at the same time. Oh, I could have said butt. I'm sorry. You can't save your face and your butt at the same time. And simply what that means is if you put yourself up on a stage in front of a bunch of people, all those people now get to hold you accountable for what you said that you're going to do, right? So if I'm putting prospecting messages in people's inbox saying, I'm expanding my business, 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 but on social media, I'm invisible, I'm not doing anything, I'm not showing up. There's no way for them to track me down and look at what I'm doing. They can't go to my YouTube channel and see that I have like 500 videos, and there's a ton of them. They don't have any views on them, but they're there. I'll work on that later. Or they can, they can go to my Twitter channel, see I've got like 3,000 followers on Twitter. They go to my Instagram, and I don't have a lot going on Instagram, but at least they can find me. They can come to Facebook and they go through like, dang, this dude shows up every freaking single day. This dude shows up every day. He's here on Facebook. I can listen to him, and they can go look at my wife's stuff because there's a link on there. You can go look and they can see who I am, right? They can begin to know, like me, and trust me. So when I start doing a follow-up process, sorry, babe. So when I start doing the follow-up process, in terms of reaching out to people, they're more likely to pick up the phone. They're more likely to respond back to me. They're more likely to apologize and say, hey, man, I know we had a meeting. So going back to that follow-up is very, very important. It's very, 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 very important that you have a follow-up process. So if you want to get more sales, if you want to get more leads, just remember, just because somebody said they're interested in taking a look, because that's all we're doing right now, right? That's our primary mission, is ask people if they're open. You got to be open to looking, right? You can't just throw that. Somebody threw a link and a deal in my, and I'm pretty much bulletproof now when people just spam me. I'm just like, they don't know any better, so I don't take that. But hey, Heidi, show up every day. Yep, and love that, absolutely. So she dropped this message in my inbox, and it was just all this bunch of stuff, and it's like, at first I was going to say, she doesn't know any better, and my response to her was, just I said, heads up, it looks like you probably sent this to the wrong person. And her reply back, wrong person. I said, yeah, whoever you were trying to send this to that requested this is probably looking for the information. You might want to just double check, make sure you send it to the right person. So I did that on purpose, right? It was like I was acting like, well, it's cool that you're sending this out, but I think you send it to the wrong person. So whoever requested it, whoever requested the information is probably looking for it. And she replied back with it, because she knew what I just did, right? She knew what I just did. So very, very important you understand that when you're reaching out to people, one is you don't just send them their information without asking them if they're open. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're whatever your stuff is that you're selling, you ask people first. Hey, I'm curious, I'm doing XYZ PDQ. I was wondering if you might be able to take a look at my products. Hey, for example, my wife, she does t-shirts and ball caps, and she does really cool the mask things now. She's got some custom stuff like that. So she posted on her timeline, but it'd be really spammy if she just took a bunch of those and just sent them out to everybody. She'd say, hey, she might reach out to somebody and say, hey, y'all, just want to let you know, I've got custom masks that I'm doing. If you'd like some more information on them, let me know, and I'll get you some more details, right? So she can do that without spamming people her link to her order page. And then they can say, oh, custom links, and they'll reply back, yeah, what's the page? Like, boom. Because now she asked them if they're open to taking a look at what she does, and then she knows she has a qualified prospect, because now they're replying back and say, yeah, what's your link to your website page, or what's the link to your shopping cart, or whatever it is. She can send that to them. So we're doing exactly the same thing here, is we're asking somebody if they're open, right? If they say they're open, they're just open to taking a look. They're not open to buying anything. They're not open to joining your team. They're not open to doing it. They're simply open to taking a look at what you have to offer in terms of a side hustle. Now, once they look at it, then they go, nah, not for me, and bail out. And that's absolutely okay, because you want to move them on or off your list, or put them on the right side or left side. And if they say, no, I'm not interested in your opportunity, say, great, absolutely okay. It's not for everybody. Curious if you might be able to take a look at my product lineup to see if it might be a fit for you or your family. Now, some of you have presentations that sort of do both, so people know what the product is, which is absolutely okay. So they might say yes and say great, and you send them a product link, a link to the product catalog, and then you schedule a follow-up time with them and say, hey, I'm going to follow up with you about 24 hours at a time, enough for you to look at the products. If you have a big product catalog, you might say a couple of days. I'll check back with you in a couple of days. If you see some products that you need more information on, just let me know, and I'll send you some, because some people just have to know what's in it, or what's, does it have XYZ PDQ ketones, or whatever's in it. They have to know all the ingredients before they buy stuff, right? So you got to get that to them. So follow-up is the best way. I just lost my train of thought. If you want to have success, you need to follow up. And what we've seen in the numbers talking about this 5 to 12%, 5 to 12 exposures. Grant Cardone, in his training, he knows a sales team that only 2% of the people can close on the first call, or only 2% of the call, not 2% of his team, but only 2% of the people that people are reached out to close on the first call. Other than that, it takes in anywhere from 5 to 12 exposures for somebody to actually go into the closing process and become a customer. So it's very, very important. It doesn't matter what kind of sales process you're in, it's you've got to follow up with people. And as a result of me following up with people, although I did the presentation, last month or the month before that, I followed up with them. I got an order, I got a customer, I got an order, I got a customer, I got an order, I got a customer, I got an order, I got a customer. So very, very important that you do follow up. So if you want to explode your business, come up with a follow-up routine. My follow-up routine is this. Very next day, or whenever I said I was going to follow up with them, I set the follow-up schedule. If they ghost me and they don't follow up, I'll send a message that says, hey, right after that. So for example, I sent a message out to the Dr. Gardner agreed to watch my presentation. So I said, hey, I'm going to send you the presentation, and we agreed to a follow-up time. At that follow-up time, I'm going to send a message and say, hey, what'd you like most about what you saw? If she doesn't reply, my next immediate message, I'm going to wait about 15 minutes for a reply, because we agreed on a time, right? If I have their phone number, I'm going to do that. Now, somebody had asked me about getting phone numbers. The way that I do this, if you choose to do this, is you can say, you go through the scheduling follow-up and say, hey, how soon can you watch the presentation now, or a little bit later today? and they give you a time. I can watch it at 7 o'clock, right? And they say, great. I see I'm going to put you on my calendar for 7 o'clock. Would you like me to email that or text it? You always say text last because you want their mobile number. And most people go, oh, you can text it. Great. What number do I need to text it to? And you text it to them. So now you've got their phone number. You've got a scheduled time. You sent them the presentation. And one thing that I like to do on the presentation side is when I send it to them, I'll text it to them and I send it to them and say, P.S. my presentation will snitch on you and tell me when you've watched it. And even if your presentation doesn't snitch on them, and tell you, if you say that, they're more likely to watch it than not watch it because they said they were going to watch it. Even if they said they were going to watch it to get you off the phone, now you sort of put them on the spot to hold them accountable to their word because your presentation, you told them that your presentation is going to snitch on them and tell them, or you can say, hey, my presentation will inform me, however you want to say it, just to your personality. You can say, hey, my presentation will let me know when you've completed watching it. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Then at 7 o'clock, you do the follow-up and they don't answer. So you can send them a text message and say, hey, we were scheduled to do a follow-up right now. When would be a better time to get back with you? Then you just put it in their inbox and let it sit there and wait for them to reply. So when they reply, here's the posture part. If they say tomorrow at 10 o'clock, say, hey, tomorrow at 10 o'clock is absolutely booked. I do have a time later in the afternoon or evening, because again, you want to be postured. You don't want to just seem like you're available 24 hours, 7 days a week, because that wouldn't be very, doctors wouldn't do that. So if you had a date with a plumber, right? If the plumber's supposed to be coming to your house or you're supposed to be going doing some work and something comes up, they're not going to immediately reschedule. We had a guy who was supposed to be coming out working on my front doors, getting a new front door for the house, and they just totally botched it. So had to reschedule for this upcoming next Thursday. I wanted them to come right back out and do it, but they couldn't because they had a lot of other stuff going on. So they had to reschedule for next Thursday, even though it was their fault in the first place that they messed up. So just understand that the posture is very important in scheduling your calls. So you're going to follow up, and you're going to follow up whatever your follow-up routine is. So you're going to follow up when scheduled for the first phone call. Then you're going to set a 4-day follow-up. The 4-day follow-up is simply reach out to them and say, hey, I've been super busy, getting new customers started, getting new teammates started, whatever you want to say. Apologies. How are you? And you're not going to say, did you watch the video? Did you watch the presentation? You're simply going to ask them, how are you? And that's a 4-day. Then I do a 15-day, then a 30-day, and a 45-day, and a 60-day, and a 90-day. And I run it all the way out there. And there's a lot of deflection that you can use in those follow-ups. So very, very important that you have a follow-up schedule. And remember, just because people said they're interested doesn't mean they're ready to get started right now. So don't get all up in your ego and your feelings and get all weird. So, well, it looks like it may not be a fit for you because they didn't respond to you at 7 o'clock in the meeting. Simply say, hey, it looks like we missed our scheduled appointment. That's absolutely okay. I've got a ton of other people to follow up with. You can do this posture just 2 ways. I'm going to check back with you in here 4 or 5 days and see how things are going, right? And then you go to your 4-day follow-up. And then, of course, you reach out to them and say, I've been super busy, getting new customers started, getting new teammates started, working on my business, however you want to say that. How are you? Because you told them you're going to follow up in 4 to 5 days. You're going to ask them, how are they? Because that does 2 things. One is you want them to re-engage with you. If they follow up and say, hey, I'm fine, I just got busy, I apologize, I missed our appointment. Great. Yeah, I get busy too. I get it. Great. What did you like most about what you saw? Then, of course, you go into that closing process. So follow-up is follow-up's the number one thing that's helped me grow and just explode my business. I know if you can come up with a follow-up schedule is very, very important. Just don't leave people hanging because it's not professional. Now, you may miss an appointment every now and then because life happens on your end just like they do. Then you've got to send them a message, say, hey, apologize, had some personal stuff come up. I know we missed our appointment. I'd love to reschedule with you and follow up with you, let me know. And then you've got to sort of let them know, like, hey, it's, because I missed the appointment, it's now, I'm going to open up my schedule a little bit to get back with you, let me know it's going to be convenient for you. That's professional follow-up 101. Hopefully it's got you. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. If you did, absolutely great. So I got an absolutely special treat for you. If you would like my follow-up Google Calendar, not Google Calendar, my Google Sheets to sort of see how I follow up, to see how I schedule my follow-up, shoot me a private message. It's a really cool Google Docs. I put my people on there. I'll share it with you. It's got some formulas in it. that you'd absolutely like. If you don't have it yet, it's out there. And I actually have a YouTube video that I did. I'll share with you as well. It walks you through, and so that'll show you how I actually use it. If you like that, shoot me a private message. I'll get that out to you. Very, very important that you have a follow-up schedule on top of all the other stuff that you're doing to grow and build your business. Hey, Miss Elsa, thanks for swinging by. Coach Elsa, woo-woo. Hey, Heidi, thanks for swinging by. I really appreciate you for taking your time out of this awesome evening. Enjoy your Sunday. I love you. Jesus loves you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. On a mission to have no more empty refrigerators. Go out and make an extreme impact. Peace out. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.